Okay, in this problem we're gonna work on vector components. We have a car that's driving this way with a v of 30 meters per second, and we have another car here that's stationary, and we made an AB line connecting them. Now the problem is asking us to show on the figure with arrows that represent the components of this V, one V which is parallel to the AB line and one which is perpendicular to the AB line. Okay, let's get to it. First I'm gonna mark the one that's perpendicular to the AB line, and that's gonna be from here to here, just like this. And this will be my V perpendicular. Okay, now the V parallel is gonna be right here, from here to here, and mark it as V parallel. Okay, now we're the next question of the problem is telling us to mark the angle theta on over here, which one we're gonna use to calculate the component. For this one, we're gonna use the angle which is over here, and I'm gonna mark this one as theta. Okay, this was part A and part B. Part C of the problem is asking us it was B. Write a trig function that can be used to find the numerical value of the theta from the numbers given in the figure. So for this one, we're gonna turn to our friend tangent, and tangent of theta equals opposite over adjacent. So I'm just gonna write this down here, equals opposite over adjacent. And here we have our theta, and we're going to use opposite over adjacent. But we're not going to use this small triangle. We're going to use this big triangle right here. The theta is the same for this triangle or for this triangle. Therefore, tangent of theta equals the opposite will be 80 meters. The adjacent will be 100 meters. Okay, now we are interested in theta itself. So for that, theta equals the inverse tangent of 80 meters over 100 meters. And if we calculate this with a calculator, we're gonna get the value to be 38.7 degrees. Here you go. Okay, the next step of the problem is asking us to describe each component of V with a trig function of theta. So, V perpendicular and V parallel. Each one we need to describe them as a trigonometric function. So let's start with V perpendicular. For this one, we're gonna use our equation for sine. And using theta with sine, we're gonna, but instead of opposite and hypotenuse, we're gonna use the perpendicular, and we're gonna use our V. So we're gonna just go ahead and solve for it straight. So V perpendicular equals V times sine of 38.7 degrees, the one that we found earlier. And from here we can also plug in our v value, which is 30 meters per second times sine of 38.7 degrees, and this will give us a value of 18.8 meters per second. So here's our trig function. Instead of the 38.7, we could leave a theta, and here's our actual value. Now v parallel. For this one we're gonna use cosine, and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna plug in right away with v parallel and our v. So it's gonna be v times cosine of theta, and then let's plug in v is 30 meters per second times cosine of right there 38.7, and with a calculator we're gonna get a value of 23.4 meters per second. Okay, there's our trig function for v parallel, v perpendicular. There's our value for v parallel, and there's our v value for v perpendicular. And that would conclude the problem.